previously on Afloat, CREOB is an international research station dedicated to a number of projects. I want to know what actually is going on down there. So I'm going to keep my eye out for any of those researchers that come by to check. Hey, the researchers are here! I see them! Let's go find out what they're doing. Bonjour, good morning.
I'm Chloe, I'm a PhD student from France, and I'm here for my fieldwork. I'm gonna be here for a full year.
You have
those long hikes?
Yes, one of them has coral and the other one has coral, but you have the spiny seaweed?
Yep.
So what are you doing?
Experiment you mentioned aimed at studying the effect of microalgae.
I've noticed lately that there have been huge patties of the spiny leaf seaweed stuff. Are you also researching how that affects the coral? Because it kind of sits on it. Does it kind of kill it?
Well, if there's a direct contact, yeah.
Yeah.
And my PhD focuses particularly on the indirect effects. So I'm gonna study as well all the molecules and...
I didn't really understand what Chloe was talking about, so I have to review the footage and hear it again. During Ryan's younger years, he took a series of biology classes and underwent specialized scuba training to become certified as a scientific research diver. He participated in field work in the Middle East and parts of California, so he learned all this scientific underwater language.
What she's saying is that she's doing experiments to study the microscopic life that sort of surrounds the area where the algae is, where those little prickly things are, and how the impact that has on the coral. So if you have algae over here that's not growing on the coral, and you have coral over here, is there any microscopic effects that this algae has that is impacting the coral? That's what she's saying.
Thank you, honey. Oh, I knew it had something to do with...
nipple clamps.
No. You and boobs. Thank you, honey.
You guys like boobs too.
Okay. I have to get back to work. Let's go down and see what they're doing. Wow, it's just like, where'd they go? Now I can see. Good thing they have an orange buoy, because there they are. Well, it wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. Definitely not like our night dive during the coral spawning. This is what they did pretty much the entire time they were underwater. But their research area is absolutely stunning. Not a bad place to do research, huh? Beautiful here. I'm letting those two continue to do their research. I'm getting cold. Back to the paddleboard and back to Kiapa.
Okay, today we're gonna remove some stitches from my hot wife. First, I washed my hands, we sterilized the tools. The plate is clean, so that's gonna be our sterile field. I am going to put the steri strips from their sterile container onto the sterile field. We have a antiseptic liquid and we have some little sponges here. Okay, so betadine works good too. I just sprayed it on there and then you start from the wound and you go out, using a different part of the cloth each time. I'm going to talk like I know what I'm doing, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I just read a little pamphlet and I'm just gonna see if I can figure it out from there.
Yeah, so, you've never taken stitches out before, have you?
Taken stitches out.
You have?
As far as people know, I have never done this before.
On?
I'm gonna turn on a sec. These are just the simplest kind of stitches where they just go around, tie, go around. A couple of key things that I'm keeping in mind. One, I'm gonna lift it up and cut underneath where the knots are. When I do that, I don't want to pull, like the reason you cut underneath the knot on the shortest section is because you wanna have the least amount possible pulled back through the skin. The other thing I'm gonna be doing is when I'm pulling the suture out, I'm gonna be pulling across the wound instead of just tugging it straight out. That helps the wound, kind of encourages it to stay closed. And I'm gonna do it sort of leapfrogging, kind of like when you tighten bolts, you don't just go around in a circle, you zigzag across. And what that does is if it does start to open up, hope, which I don't think it will. It's been 15 days, but if it does start to open up, hopefully there'll be enough sutures in that we can, seal it off with a steri strip or something and go from there. I can't see shit because I'm half blind, but I'm gonna do my best. These are fucking
They're in. Yeah, I know.
Okay, hold your breath. So then once you've got it out, you inspect it, make sure it's all out.
3 more to go.
Problem is, I need
Magnifying glass?
yeah, I need my other glasses actually. They're bigger, I can see better with them.
Okay,
just
I'll get them.
Yeah?
Well, that would be
Okay.
I will go get them.
All right. Does it hurt?
It pinches.
Okay. That's 2. That one was the hard one. The rest of the
Okay.
other 2 should be easy. Hopefully. Knock on wood. We ready?
Yep.
Healed up well. Okay, that one came out great. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those are out. I don't see any signs of infection. So steri strips are basically these like super adhesive things. You leave these on till they just fall off on their own. Last thing is you have to inspect carefully. So there's no signs of redness, there's no streaks, there's no nothing. It was a little swelling.
Thank you, honey, for taking my stitches out.
You're welcome. I didn't narrate it very well, and I wasn't.
You did okay. Pre-sunset.
Be even prettier if we could watch it over dinner.
Oh, such a punk. Such a punk.
Okay.
So the experiment you mentioned aimed at studying the effect of microalgae on microbial communities that settle on little tides. So I put tides upward and downward to study how the current could influence those structure. And I have also tides at different distance from the algae. And then I do recruitment experiments to see if I have a link between the microbial communities and the recruitment pattern of coral reefs.
Okay, and I've noticed lately that there have been huge patties of the algae seaweed, that spiny leaf seaweed stuff. And are you also researching how that affects the coral? Because it kind of sits on it. Does it kind of kill it?
Well, if there's a direct contact, yeah.
Yeah.
And my PhD focuses particularly on the indirect effects. So I'm going to study as well all the molecules and bacteria you can find in the water column and how they change with the distance from the algae.
Wow, okay.